folks, it's that time of year when ponding becomes a little bit, well, just maintenance really, and just, little and often, I would say, once a week. In the UK it's a lovely day here, it's been very cold lately, so I'm just going to run through, because I think it's interesting this time of year, where you get different people's views and different people's, where you are across the world. Because obviously someone might say, oh no, I'll keep my pond running, but you don't know where they live, you don't know what the pond temperature is. I checked my pond temperature and it's 3 degrees, so grab a coffee. Basically, all I've done, I do weekly maintenance this time of year. It's very cold, like I say today, it's been just above freezing the last few days, and we're due a long spell of cold. Normally I leave my pond running 24 hours a day, normally the shower runs and my bog filter runs. I never turn them off. Well, just on the side of caution, a helicopter over. What I'm going to do this year, for the first year, is I've turned the valve off to the bog filter and turned the valve off to the shower, and I've opened my 2 return pipes. So there's 2 pipes coming all with 2 5,000 litre pumps feeding the shower and feeding the plant filter. I've turned both those valves off, and there's 2 return pipes, one next to the shower there and one there, so I've got water coming in now, so it's just circulating in the water. There will be static water in the plant filter. The shower would have drained. I've took some water out of the standing pipe there, so for the next month they're going to probably remain off until March, till that threat of this spell of hard, prolonged coldness, where it can, maybe. What I'm worried about is the plant filter, because it's shallow at the top, it freezes, and then I get an overflow somewhere else when the mid-pond drains. Don't want that, so that's all I'm bothered about. Any beneficial bacteria will remain in that filter at the bottom, so I've got no problem starting the pond back up come March. I'll just turn everything back on. I'll probably clean the plant filter out, clean the shower out, prep that and get it going. So all I've done today, I've brushed my filters, so I've done my mechanical filter, I've cleaned that with an hose. It's always worth checking your skimmer, leave your skimmer running. I found a frog in it last week, scared the absolute crap out of me. They're just all leaves in it. I put my hand in, just this slimy thing within my hand, frog. So I've moved that down to the pond, my other pond, little goldfish pond I've got. So clean the leaves out of your skimmer once a week, don't need much. Just those down your brushes, or you make sure your mechanical filters clean. They don't need feed at this time of year. My koi are still active. They're not in a motion of torpor, where they're just static. That's the critical part, 'cause if they are for long periods, they can get ulcers, develop ulcers, sores, and that can develop into other things. Parasites can get old come spring when the water temperature rises. So basically this time of year, keep everything maintained. I've cleaned my filters out, just hosed them down quickly, purged my bottom drain, looking at the fish, that's the most important thing. Check my water temperature, it's only at 3, but they're swimming around because they like a bit of activity. You come out and you spend time in there and do a bit of maintenance, they'll soon just think what's going off and just be interested and just start to circle like mine are. And funny enough, since I've put the return pipes pointing down to my skimmer, they're actually circling in that motion, which is quite interesting to see actually. So hopefully that may lift the temperature up a degree, because it's not getting the flow to the airflow. The air is not touching the water when it's passing through air, the water's actually underneath, so it may help a little bit. Koi just under me now. So just to answer some questions, this is my belief, this is what I think. You should leave your air running 24/7 going in. You should have everything running as much as you possibly can. If there is a risk of heavy frost, prolonged cold, like you get in some countries, we're very lucky in the UK nowadays. I didn't turn anything off last year, and I'm only doing this as a precaution this year for maybe a few weeks. But if you're in an area where it's really cold, and you think that it's going to freeze over, and that is going to then, the frozen water is not a problem. The problem is pipes freezing, breaking, plant filters freezing up, waterfalls freezing up, and then the water has got to go somewhere, and it will go out and it will empty your pond. You know, pipes will disconnect, that sort of stuff, and you just don't want that, because you're going to be left with a pond with a little bit of water in the bottom and fish dying. Okay, so, but if you can, leave it running, leave bubblers running as much as you possibly can, because the chances of the bubbler freezing at the very bottom of your pond is, I don't think it's going to really happen. It's got to be frozen at the top and go right down, but it should never get to that point that quick if you can maintain it and you keep evaluating what's going off. Okay, so like I say, just get out, it's a nice day, do a bit of maintenance. Even though it's really cold today, I feel quite warm because I've got coffee, I've been pottering around, and now I'm just looking at the fish, and they are all looking really healthy. And what you will notice in cooler temperatures, the benny just comes out on some of them. When the water's warmer, tends to fade a little bit, I find. So fish are looking really well. In terms of food, there is I think a myth in the koi world that says do not feed in winter. All I'll say is I feed year round, but it's with an appropriate feed, an all-round koi food. I use Nijikawa all seasons, okay, and I've had Nijikawa Grow as well. So I've not fed them today because there's no point. Temperature's 3 degrees, I'm not really interested. They will eat, I'm pretty sure of that, but it's not going to do them any good. There's no point. You know, it's for me if I do that. So even if you do that for a month, I did feed them last week a little bit, just gave them a little sprinkling, maybe 6, make a pellet each. Just keep them ticking over. But like I say, I don't switch foods. So if they're interested, I feed just minimal once a week at this time of year, with an appropriate specialist koi food. Okay, so if someone says, yeah, you can just feed all year round, I could slate that out, and then someone's going to reach for the high protein food and keep chucking that in. You're going to add to the benefit, you're going to add to the bacteria and the crap that's going in, because the koi will probably feed, and if they don't feed, it's going to decay, and that's going to add to waste and ammonia and stuff, and your bacteria's not there to chew it up and eat it away, and then your water's going to go bad, and if it goes bad, then you're going to have maybe bacterial issues, uneaten food. If the koi aren't active anyway, they're going to get ulcers, and the water's crap, and it's going to affect them that way. So you're just in a horrible spiral. And then come spring, when the water's warm, you've fed all that crap in the pond, it's just going to, all the bad bacteria are going to come to life, and then you're going to possibly risk of parasites and get a horrible mix. So that's it really. In terms of water, I've still got water going in for my water changes. I don't turn that off. I've got a trickle feed. That's all year round. I don't have no problems running a hose pipe in this, and people say, what, running cold water in your pond, you're mad. Well, it's not heated, so there's no way I'll be cooling it. The water that will be going in would be cold, but it wouldn't be colder than the pond temperature. It will be warmer. Not a lot, but it, you know, just mix in. So it's no detriment. So I would still, if it was me, do, you know, water changes still. Ears coming back on. So yeah, I've still got my trickle going. You can hear the ears just come back on. It goes off for feeding in summer, so it comes on and off. So once that's back on, I'll have a slurp. I'll grab the camera and we'll finish with a quick look at the koi. A lot of the koi in the grow. Okay, I've got a few more minutes, so I hope that's been of interest. I hope you've learnt something. Join Facebook group Friendly Koi Keepers, subscribe, and ask questions and get a community going. So, I'm going to be a bit shaky for a few minutes. You can't really see them there. There they are. Water's 3 degrees. Well, they're just doing their thing. Doing their thing. You know, if it's that cold, it's like they're going to torpor, T-O-R-P-O-R, look that word up. And you'll learn about it, about the metabolic rate and how the cold brings you into a state of like hibernation. But don't treat it, I don't think it's a true hibernation. Be very careful with that. Okay. So they are kind of active, doing their thing even at 3 degrees. I don't cover my pond. Maybe I should do, but I thought I'd try it the hard way first. Instead of jumping on that bandwagon, people saying, yeah, you need a Nexus, you need a filter, you need to cover your pond, you need a heater, and you need all this. I thought I'll try it the hard way, so I experience those things, and then I progress from there and adapt. Oh, that's been of interest. Have a lovely weekend.